Chapter 12, which is about the end of the story. Moomin Troll was the first to wake up next morning. For a long time he couldn't remember where he was, and when it all came back to him, he got up at once, tiptoed cautiously to the mouth of the cave, gingerly lifted the blanket, and looked out. What a sight met his eyes! The sky was no longer red, but a beautiful blue once again, and the morning sun shone in its usual place, looking as though it had been freshly polished. Moomin Troll sat down and turned his face up to it, shutting his eyes and heaving a deep sigh of happiness. After a time the Snork Maiden came creeping out of the cave and sat down beside him.
"Well, the sky, the sun, and the rocks are still here anyway," she said solemnly.
"And look, the sea is coming back," whispered Moomin Troll. And there it was, rolling tirelessly in towards them, glittering and gleaming like soft blue silk, the same old sea that they had always loved. All the little creatures came out of the mud where they had taken refuge, and darted happily up to the surface. The seaweed and water plants slowly began to grow towards the sun, and out of the sea a flock of seagulls appeared, and were soon circling over the beach. In the cave they were waking up one by one, and blinking with surprise. The night seemed to them like a terrible black and red dream, and the Hemulan was really the only one who wasn't amazed at the sunshine and blue sea. He just carried his stamps down to the sand and said,
"Now I'm going to put my watermarks in order for the 7th time, and woe betide anyone who disturbs me, be he of the Moomin, Snork, or Snufkin tribe."
The muskrat snorted, gave his whiskers a brushing, and wandered off to see if his hammock was still about.
"Now I've got a new chapter for my memoirs," said Moomin Papa. "My goodness, that book is going to be exciting when it's finished."
"It certainly is, dear," said Moomin Mamma. "But so many exciting things happen to us that I'm afraid the book will never get finished. Oh, what a joy it is to see the sun again."
Sniff danced with his tail in a bow, and held his dagger up to the sun so that the opals shone. Then he set off with the silk monkey to see if there were any crabs left after the catastrophe. Meanwhile, Snufkin had taken out his mouth organ and was giving it another try. All the notes had come back, even the little ones, so that he could play to his heart's content. Moomin Troll went into the cave, dug up his pearls, and lay them in the Snork Maiden's lap.
"These are for you," he said, "so that you can decorate yourself all over the place and be the most beautiful Snork Maiden in the world."
But the biggest pearl of all he gave to his mother to wear in her nose.
"Oh, Moomin Troll, how beautiful," she said. "But now I want to know what has happened. Do you think the wood is still there, and the house, and the kitchen garden?" "I think everything is still there," said Moomin Troll. "Come with me and have a look."